Well, howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician here, making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho. And the past few days I've been working on this Lexus LS400 here. It came in, if you watched the diagnostic videos, it came in making terrible noises and whatnot, and the power steering wasn't working correctly. Ultimately, we decided and found out that the tensioner, which has been removed, was no longer working. The power steering pump is leaking, and the AC compressor is all messed up and locked up, and that's where the noise was coming from. And so those are the three jobs that are getting done on it, is replacing the power steering pump, the AC compressor, and then also the tensioner. But a few times the owner or owners have asked me, if we do this work, if we spend this money and do this work, is everything going to be okay, type of question. And so sometimes such a question is hard to answer up front. Sometimes it does take breaking a vehicle down, getting into the engine to be able to answer that question. And so I wanted to point out a few things, kind of show you how a mechanic's mind works, or what I think is a good mechanic. I myself think I'm a pretty good mechanic. So just to kind of show you how a good mechanic's mind works, and ultimately, if everything is done correctly, it can save a lot of money. Although sometimes it feels like you're spending a lot of money up front, what it really boils down to is saving money in the long run, making sure the vehicle doesn't have to consistently come back into the shop and nickel and dime you. So as I'm getting in here, a few things that I've noticed are things like the idler pulley. That could definitely go ahead and be changed out. And again, I'm in here now, so it wouldn't take a whole bunch of extra labor to get in there and change that out. But more importantly, I noticed that the water pump fan bracket and the water pump that sits in here really likes to spin freely. There's no resistance in this whatsoever, and it spins freely. Now, does that mean that the water pump is bad? No. But it is signs of a water pump that is beginning to get weak. Anytime a water pump spins freely, then basically what that means is the bearings inside of the water pump, where the shaft is, are getting loose inside of there. And if a water pump spins with no resistance on it, then it's not actually moving the coolant through the system correctly, and you can have all kinds of issues: coolant boiling off, smoke blowing, just all kinds of stuff, overheating obviously, and stuff like that. So but the water pump, this vehicle has around 175,000 miles on it, and honestly extremely is exaggerating a little bit, but 175,000 miles for a 95 Lexus LS400 4.0 engine is low miles. I've seen these cars with 350,000 miles and still running strong. As a matter of fact, I know a few people that sold them after they hit 370,000, 380,000 miles. So yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a ton of more mileage out of this vehicle, so long as you take care of them. So now back to this water pump. So we see this water pump. It's not, bad. It's just spins freely. The bracket spins freely here where the fan goes. And so it makes you wonder, well, are we going to have to come back 6 months from now and go ahead and do a water pump? And that's when I look here, and I notice that we have a timing belt replacement sticker. And this actually looks like what would be a Toyota sticker. Even though it doesn't say Toyota, it looks like a sticker that Toyota would use in a dealer, especially back in 2000, which is when the timing belt was replaced. Now, according to the mileage, 85,656, this timing belt was replaced according to factory specifications. So if you ask me, whoever owned this car at that time made sure that everything was maintained and maintained according to factory specification. And that's probably why at 170,000 miles, you're only seeing the very beginning signs of things like this water pump going out. In order to replace a water pump or anything like that, or a timing belt, all of this has to come off and whatnot. So I can almost guarantee you that they probably not only replaced the timing belt at 85,000 miles, they also replaced the water pump and the tensioners and all the stuff inside of there. Now, Toyota recommends timing belt, Toyota or Lexus recommends timing belt to be replaced around every 80,000 miles. So at 175,000 miles, give or take a few on this vehicle, technically we're just now starting around the cusp of needing to think about changing the timing belt and along with it the water pump. Now here's my catch on it. So we're already doing a bunch of work to it between the AC compressor, the water tensioner, the belt tensioner, and the power steering pump. And so it's already a pretty decent sized job with some decent money on the table. However, a timing job alone, just a timing and a water pump job alone for this vehicle, if you were to just do that, starts at about $950 on up to as much as $2,000. Now, I use repairpal.com to get different quotes from shops and stuff. It gives you like quotes from 10 different shops. And in my community, I came in at around $950 to $1,000. Here's where it can save money. Since I'm already in here, we could go ahead and turn this into what we call a timing job, and go ahead and pick up a timing belt kit with a new water pump, tensioner, hydraulic tensioners, pick up a new pulley here, like so, and then we'll also get a new fan bracket for the water pump and get all that new. And if we were to do it now while I'm in here, we could probably cut that $1,000 cost in half, literally, and get it done in the range of an extra $500 to like $600. And so, and ultimately, and to some people, you know, you think, wow, you know, that's a lot more money. But if you look at it in the long run, when your mechanic comes to you with stuff like that, you know, when you're done with it, other than, I don't know, maybe, you know, I mean, just stupid little stuff, the car shouldn't really need to come back to the shop for any maintenance at that point. Shouldn't have any coolant issues because you've replaced the water pump, you've redone the timing and all that other good stuff. So in the long run, you're looking at keeping the car out of the shop. If you don't do it, then, you know, you never know. 6 months, 12 months later, the car starts nickel and diming you. You're paying $1,000 again for a water pump and timing belt, and then you going back in and paying another $200 for a pulley to be done, and it just costs more money over time. So yeah, folks, you know, paying good attention to detail to some of these things, and, you know, communicating with the owners of the vehicles to let them know, hey, you know, I ended up getting in here, and now that I'm pretty deep in here, I found some other things. What do you want to do about it? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a hold of them and see if, you know, how they want to proceed with it. If they just want to go ahead and get these jobs finished out and worry about the rest later, or save a little money and get it all done now, you know, and add a little bit more time to it and be done with it. So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, I always look forward to your feedback and stuff. As you know, I'm working hard out of my home here in hopes of working my way into a shop one day and getting this business up and running. So yeah, just leave me some comments in the comments there. I appreciate your support. Thanks for coming out and watching. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.